Now, we need to go a little bit into the background. There was an incident involving a passenger ship by the name of Achille Lauro. The incident took place in 1985, and a lot of gaps were found from the law point of view that there is no law existing like a convention at the international level to handle such type of incident involving ships, and which led to the development of the SUA Convention of 1988, came into force in 1990. Now, what was this Achille Lauro incident? Let's go back to 1985. It was a medium-sized passenger ship, cruise ship. Believe me, it was not that swanky kind of large cruise ships that we see on the channels of television and, like five-star floating hotels. No. It was a very special passenger ship in the sense that it was exclusively for passengers that were senior citizens. That means 65 years and above, for older people. And take them for small cruises in the Mediterranean, that kind of a thing. At first, they would fill up those cabins, and if before commencement of the cruise rather, if no further senior citizens were there, so they would open that passenger cabins for young people. But the focus was on elderly people. Now, in 1985, the ship, while in Eastern Mediterranean, was hijacked by 4 Palestinian terrorists at gunpoint. I mean, they had come on board as good passengers, disguised. There were 4 of them. And the force the master took to take the ship off the coast of Egypt, off Alexandria in Mediterranean. And the terrorists were negotiating with the government of Egypt. Their demand, $4 million in cash and a fully fueled jumbo plane for them to use. The normal standard operating procedure is that the government that they are negotiated, the government always buys time. It is not so easy to bring that level of cash in that denomination. In fact, we have to organize an empty Boeing kind of a huge plane, fully fuel it, bring it closest to where you want, we need time, etc. And that negotiation keep going on till the time the culprits, in this case the terrorists, till the time they don't harm the hostage. Because once the any hostage situation, the standard operating procedure is that if any of the hostage is harmed, injured or killed, then all that negotiations are off. They send their commandos and then you're supposed to overpower the culprits, whatever people they die, that's a separate case. While the government of Egypt was organizing, they say, okay, we will pay you the ransom, but don't leave the ship and the passenger, because poor guys, they are old people. While the government of Egypt was organizing for their ransoms, one of the terrorists, he actually took one of the passengers, an old man who was on the wheelchair, he took him on the deck, murdered him, shot him in the head, along with the wheelchair, threw him overboard. Now, that is ultimate inhuman act. A poor guy is old, he's on a wheelchair, you murder him on point blank range, along with the wheelchair, you throw him overboard. The unfortunate part was that the government of Egypt did not come to know about this incident, this murder. So what it did was they organize the cash. Okay, the cash is ready. We are sending the lot. Please come. And the fully fueled plane is ready. You release the ship and the hostages. So the terrorists came on land. The plane had the cash. The plane took off. While these people were taking off and actually took off, the master, when he was able to gather himself, he informed the authorities that one murder has taken place on board the ship. And that old man happened to be an American citizen. So, phones started ringing all over the place. Immediately, the government of Egypt, they have good relationship with America, even till today. They immediately informed the American embassy at Cairo. The phone rang to America, nothing doing. We are going to intercept that plane. They have killed and rather murdered a poor old man, American citizen on the wheelchair. So wherever the allied countries are of America, where they have their air bases, the fighter plane took off. American fighter planes took off, and somewhere on the Mediterranean, they intercepted this Boeing plane, which was carrying these four terrorists only and with a $4 billion ransom plan. The fighter plane forced the Boeing plane to land in Italy. Italy was closest, and Italy also being a close ally of America. They landed in Italy. That is where the problem started. Why? The Italians said, see, okay, we have got a friendly relationship with you. It's an attack on your sovereignty. We help you to take the plane on our territory. But what do we do with them? A, the people who have committed the crime, the four terrorists, they are not Italian citizens. So Italian law is not applicable. Point number two, this crime which has forced, resulting in the plane landing in Italy, the crime was committed beyond the American territory. So in that case, also the American law, beyond the Italian territory. So there also the Italian law is not applicable. So what do? So America requested the government of Italy, you just don't let them leave, put them under house arrest or something while we consider that how do we handle this situation to punish these terrorists. So it was, he came, the face of it, we are friends with America, we don't want to mess around with America, Italian, but behind the curtain, they say, yaar, kya ye sir pe ek boj aa gaya hai. So they put the four terrorists under house arrest with not so tight a security. Out of the four, one of the terrorists escaped. Nobody knows till today. Where is he? The second terrorist, after about a week in custody under house arrest, he was found murdered in one of the lanes in Italy, wherever they were under house arrest. The Italians, they reached to a border ki chalo ek to mara kam se ka dusra bhag gaya. And nobody till today knows what happened with regard to the other two terrorists. Yeah, Italian ne bhaga diya unko. Yeah, while they were escaping, they looked the other side. Yeah, you told us to help you here, we help, but nothing can be done. They are all gone. This was the Achille Lauro incident. Then, on insistence of Egypt, Italy, and one more country, the matter came for discussion at IMO that, now terrorism is becoming a global threat. Up till now, we never realized that ships could also be a target. And ships, most of the time, are in international waters. That is beyond 12 nautical miles. Next week, I'm going to be doing this in detail when I'm doing the UNCLOS, United Nations Convention on Law of the Sea, the whole concept between territorial sea and international water and other maritime zones. It will become all the more clear to you. They said, we need to have a convention, a law, a formal, proper, documented law followed by all the countries, member countries of IMO, that when such a similar thing happens, even though it has happened beyond the territorial waters of a country, well, the countries in question, neighboring countries, should come together to be able to pool the resources to take care of the situation, apprehend and catch those terrorists who are holding the ship to ransom. That is how the SUA Convention, Suppression of Unlawful Acts, SUA Convention was developed in 1980. So basically, the convention is a mechanism for cooperation between or among the countries for preventing terrorist activities involving a ship or handling of such a scenario where there is a question of a hijack. That is the focus and objective. Are you with me till here?
Yes, sir.
So now we start coming to the nitty-gritty of the convention. It will also realize the practicality and make you understand what you can expect, God forbid, if you are in such a situation. Today, terrorism is a very big threat. To share with you, we see that out at sea, piracy is a threat, a visible threat. Terrorism, guys, I'm talking about 20 years ago, a message was flashed by Gibraltar radio for the international maritime traffic in the area to be extremely careful because of a possibility of an attack involving ships by the Prince of the Seas. Now, who the hell is Prince of the Seas? You'll be surprised. That is the code name for the naval commander of Al Qaeda. But that's a fact. Okay, touch wood. We have been careful. Countries have become all the more careful for shipping passing in their vicinity that such a thing has not happened. But intelligence is a real thing. So, coming back to the nitty-gritty of SUA Convention, the focus of the convention is on the concept of offense as defined in the SUA Convention. Very importantly, India is a party to the SUA Convention. So, coming to what is the meaning and concept of offense as per SUA Convention? It is written down. It is an offense. Focus on this, what I have put it in bold, highlighted, and underlined. When the navigation of the vessel is endangered due to any of the following reasons: causing harm or death of a person on board, causing damage to the ship or cargo, deliberately causing damage to navigational aids ashore, and falsifying communication information, deliberately giving out false information. When any of this endangers the navigation of the vessel, it is an offense as per SUA Convention. Countries are supposed to come together. So now the question comes, when is the navigation of a ship endangered? Now we know that the passage of the ship, every inch that the ship moves, is executed as per the master's orders. Because the master is in command by maritime law, he has got the power to execute the passage of the ship. So this is a legal term going back when the master is under duress. Under duress means that because of the circumstances, the person who has the power, in this case the master, to execute the passage, in a fraction of a second, he's unable to execute the powers to execute the passage. He's no longer a master. He may be wearing the 4 stripes with the diamond. So when he is under duress, when a gun is pointing at his head, he's under duress. He is just behaving like a human being to save his life rather than act as a master with the powers to execute the passage. He's no longer a master. He will do whatever he's told when the gun is pointing to his head to take the ship wherever he wants, to damage the ship, to damage the cargo, to convey false information, whatever. Are you with me till here? This is important.
Yes, sir.
So, what are the circumstances when the master is put under duress that immediately endangers the navigation of a ship? If someone, that person can be on the ship. If a person threatens with the life of a crew member, when the cook lets it go berserk and gets to the butcher's knife and puts the butcher's knife on the duty officer or duty heavy captain, he takes the ship there. Well, what is the master doing? He is no longer able to behave like a master. He's only behaving like a human being, trying to save the life of a fellow human being. Master is under duress. If I'm the master, my wife is at port. Somebody puts the captain, I'm going to rape your wife right here on the bridge, divert the ship. I'm under duress. I'm no longer behaving like a master. I'm behaving like a husband, trying to do everything to save the honor of my wife. I'm under duress. Circumstances that made me lose my powers to execute the passage under my command. Therefore, the navigation of the ship is endangered. Therefore, if an AB slaps another AB, the navigation of the vessel is not endangered because master is not endangered. You take the disciplinary action. If the guy is going berserk, we'll overpower the guy, put him in a spare cabin, keeping it open, keeping 2 people sitting outside 24/7, making sure he's getting the water and food, etc., but he's not causing damage to anyone. Till the time we reach the next port and we hand him over to the police. Master is not under duress because the navigation of the ship is not endangered. But see the point number 2. Are we clear? This is what is the focus of the offense is. It is an offense if the navigation of the vessel is endangered in any of these 4 circumstances. And the navigation of the vessel is endangered only and only when the master is put under duress. Are you with me till here?
Yes, sir.
So, having understood that, when countries, a majority of the countries are party to the SUA Convention. When a country becomes party to the SUA Convention, what all things they are supposed to do? First of all, make an amendment to the country's national laws that if we are the victims, in case of a ship is involved under terrorist activity and the government is being held at ransom asking for something beyond 12 miles, that is in international waters, our law will allow to punish the offenders after we have caught it. Number two, if a neighboring country says the ship is closer to your coast, please immediately catch them and bring them to your country's territory. For that, the law has to be made. And you'll be surprised, although India is a party to SUA Convention, it was in November 2019 that the bill was tabled in the parliament. I don't know what has happened by the Foreign Minister, Dr. Jaishankar. It is called the Anti-Maritime Piracy Bill 2019. Although it says on maritime piracy page, but basically the focus is on the SUA Convention. Now, I'll digress a little bit. You may want to know, sir, isn't the act of piracy make the SUA Convention applicable? That is what I like to highlight. Piracy के लिए there are two things which have to be visible. The first thing is, it is not a piracy if a single vessel is involved. For piracy, we act of piracy to be designated as piracy, the two vessel rule has to be applicable. Somebody is coming on the ship from outside only, then it is a piracy act. And that has to happen in international water. Whereas SUA Convention is, even in the absence of the two vessel rule, non-piracy, somebody has disguised itself. Somebody has got preserved the vessel, the master is under duress. It is an offense as per SUA Convention. We need to come to it. We cover that in detail in ASF, but at the moment, what does the convention require? Amend the national law. तो पहले यही तो प्रॉब्लम था जब इटली ने कहा कि यार हमारे पास तो कानून ही नहीं है, हम करेंगे क्या इन टेररिस्ट के साथ? We are not denying you are a good friend, Mr. America. We have listened to you. We have allowed it to land the plane on our territory. So what do? Either you take them and do whatever you want. But America was also वो शातिर चीज है अमेरिका. अगर वो अपने टेरिटरी में ले आते तो फिर वो ह्यूमन राइट्स का और पता नहीं क्या क्या हो जाता था. वो तो हमेशा दूसरे के कंधे पे रख के बंदूक चलाते हैं अमेरिका. Because the law did not exist. So this is what is the responsibility of the country. India has amended it. What is the second thing the countries are supposed to do? If the country comes to know, any country, that such a scenario is taking place, like the Achille Lauro. And whosoever is closest to that scene of the offense, that country is required to use all the resources by sending in the commandos and rescue the ship, and as far as practical, capture the offenders. Bring them in the country and immediately conduct an inquiry. And if the offenders are dealing with that country, then as per your amended law, take them to court, send them in prison for the rest of their lives. And if they are not dealing with you, they are dealing with a neighboring country, but they were closer to your country. The country has, I'll give you an example, has captured them, then hand over the offenders to another country. If the offense is directed towards that country, let's take a hypothetical example. Suppose of Karnataka, there is a terrorist incident like Achille Lauro. But the terrorists who are already on board, their problem is with the government of Sri Lanka, which is not very far away down south. Sri Lanka is party to SUA Convention. India is. It is the responsibility of government of India to send a coast guard or naval and water commandos, the marine commandos, the Marcos, rescue the ship, catch the offender, bring them on land. First of all, you conduct an inquiry. Why they'll be able to do it? Because Indian laws have been amended to take care of the situation, even though this incident was happening in international. अगर वो इंडिया से ही डील कर रहे थे कि यू गिव अस रैंसम कैश एंड प्लेन एटसेट्रा, तब तो इंडिया विल पनिश देम as per the amended laws. But in this case, India has got hold of them that it is the responsibility of government of India under custody, hand them over to Sri Lanka with the copy of the inquiry report. I mean, this is what was the scene. They had a problem with it, you take care of it. Sri Lanka has also amended the national laws. They will be taken to court in Sri Lanka, life imprisonment. Suppose in this case Sri Lanka says they turn turtle, they turn their back. अरे यार ठीक है, उनका प्रॉब्लम हमारे साथ था, तुम लोगों ने पकड़ लिया है, पर यार why do you want to put it on our head? जो तुमको करना है करो. In that case, it is strictly in this order. हालांकि होगा नहीं, because it will spoil the diplomatic relationship between India and Sri Lanka permanently. एक तो because of this international law तुम्हारी मदद की है, तुम कह रहे हो कि हमको ये हम क्या करेंगे इन लोगों का. In that case, next option is the government of India can contact the flag state, hand them over to the flag state. Why? Because the ship is the territory of the flag state. These guys have hijacked the territory of that country. Well, you take care of it. You have also amended your national laws wherever it may be. Of India, pakadega, it may be a Caribbean ship. You do whatever you want. Suppose the flag state also refuses, then the government of India will send them to the country of the offender's nationality. There are many options have been put. The point is, what is the purpose of this? There has to be, in dealing with them, in handing over to the applicable countries, there has to be complete transparency, free movement and free flow of communication. No roadblocks. And for handing over these offenders, let's say India handing them over to Sri Lanka or to the flag state or to the country of their nationality, countries are not required to have signed the extradition treaty between them for them to hand them over. Extradition treaty ये होती है कि भाई अगर किसी बंदे ने हमारी कंट्री में क्राइम किया है, वो आपकी कंट्री में बैठ के छुप गया है, तो हम लोग तो कुछ नहीं कर सकते. The countries decide extradition treaty. अगर हम लोग को पता चल गया, we will give the information to the other country. You use all your police and army resources, find that guy, hand them over to us. वो तभी पॉसिबल होता है when there is an extradition treaty. तो जितने भी ये जेल से भागते हैं, जो हम लोगों ने हॉलीवुड फिल्म में वगैरह देखा है, oh, we will go and settle down in a non-extradition country. मतलब कि अगर सपोज अमेरिका एंड वेनेजुएला डू नॉट हैव एन एक्स्ट्राडिशन ट्रीटी, वो जाके वेनेजुएला में छुप गए, तो वेनेजुएला इज अंडर नो ऑब्लिगेशन टू catch them and hand them over to America. यही सब करते हैं नॉन एक्स्ट्राडिशन ट्रीटी. Are you with me till now?
Yes, sir. Something happened in the past regarding the embassy. I remember somebody was staying in one of the countries' embassy, Ecuador embassy. I remember.
That was Edward Snowden. He was a CIA employee, and he found that a lot of jiggery-pooggery was going on. He was a computer expert, and CIA was misusing the personal data of the people it had. So he leaked that to the press while in England. CIA के तो मुंह पे कीचड़ फेंक दिए उसे. It was a fact. So CIA got out there. He ran and hid in the Ecuadorian embassy. Ecuadorian embassy, they gave a welcome to say, because embassy is, by permission of that country, is a kind of a semi-territory of the country whose embassy it is. You cannot enter the embassy without the permission of the country. Because Ecuador does not have an extradition treaty with America, तो वो छुपा हुआ. Last में मैं देखा 3 साल पहले Russia gave him asylum there, so he's a Russian citizen. So he is showing the middle finger to America. CIA, what it is with the resources, वो hush up कर दिया गया, but it was a very big thing. So what you're saying is right. Extradition treaty का important. In 1995, the SUA Convention was amended by the protocol. It came into force in 2010. Basically, what it had done, the protocol, is they have expanded the concept and definition of offense. जो पहले चीजें थी कि भाई, when the following 4 things causing damage, injury, death, etc., false information which endangers the navigation of the ship, it is an offense. So the convention becomes applicable. They have added the following things, that it is also an offense if the vessel is involved in the illegal carriage of BCN, biological, chemical, nuclear weapons, or raw material. It is also an offense. Countries can take action. Now, आप कहेंगे पता कैसे चलता है? Beta, always remember the intelligence network of the country is supreme. It's very, very strong. You know, I'll be doing that with passing, doing the right to innocent passage next week under UNCLOS. Every time we are passing through a country's territorial sea, when we are posting 8-10 miles, we don't take permission from the country. Never ever think that the country doesn't know that what the ship is, whether the ship is a threat or not. But I will do on that. Intelligence says they all come to know. So if a ship is involved in any of this, it is also an offense. Plus, the amended part of the convention now gives the power to the postal country where the ship is passing near their coast, that if through the intelligence network they have information that there are people on the ship who in the past have committed an offense as defined under SUA Convention, or there is intelligence information कि यहाँ नहीं आगे जा करके they are going to commit an offense, well, that they have a right. The country has a right to send the Navy or Coast Guard, stop the vessel, lower your flagway, board, we are going to conduct an inquiry. That much power is there. But there is a very important thing as part of the SUA protocol. What is Non-Proliferation Treaty, NPT? If you can't remember this, just write NPT in the exam. पहली बात, proliferation या to proliferate का मतलब क्या होता है? For something to grow big, like a mushroom. Mushroom की डंडी इतनी पतली सी होती है, पर उसका मुंडी ऊपर से खूब बड़ा सा होता है, huge. So non-proliferation means to prevent the growth of something. Now, what is this? Let's go back to 1991.
Nuclear growth.
Correct.
Because China was forcing India to sign this NPT treaty, but India did not sign because India wants to be part of nuclear suppliers group, but China is forcing them to sign the NPT. Then only India will become part of nuclear suppliers group. But India has not done it because if they sign this, then they cannot use it for their nuclear programs for army and defense.
That is the present situation. But that time in 1991, it was America's badmashi at the UN where the treaty was passed. That time, our Prime Minister was Honorable Shri I.K. Gujral. India was the only country we are not signing. You know, at UN meeting when this was there, there is a button for such type of thing. The representative presses one on the screen, against the country, a green light comes that, okay, we are in favor. For some countries, the green, there was only one red light, and that was from India. Now, why? As part of the non-proliferation treaty is that if a country is importing nuclear material, then the UN matlab ye American honge, they will send inspectors to the country to check that the nuclear material that the country has imported, it is only being used for peaceful purposes for nuclear energy, etc., and not to make a nuclear bomb. India showed the middle finger to the world, saying who the hell is a third party to come and confirm? We are a very responsible country. अगर हमको न्यूक्लियर मटेरियल लेकर बम बढ़ाएंगे तो छाती ठोक करके दुनिया को पाएंगे वी आर मेड अ बम. और अगर हम लोग कह रहे हैं वी आर यूजिंग इट फॉर पीसफुल पर्पसेस, डैम इट, वी आर यूजिंग इट फॉर पीसफुल पर्पसेस. इट इज नॉट गोइंग फॉर न्यूक्लियर बॉम्ब. We don't want the third XYZ, the weather coming through UN or etc. to give us a sign. No. India is using it for peaceful purposes. That was a very courageous thing India had shown to the world. That resulted in what you're saying about China. वो उस वक्त बैकडोर वो चाह रहे थे, फोर्स कर रहे थे. India said to hell with you. We were not signing the non-proliferation treaty. So because India has not signed the NPT, so therefore, if India is importing nuclear material through ships, that means it would be considered an offense as far as the ship coming towards India. Any country can stop that shipment and do whatever it wants to take action. All our nuclear material, most of it comes through by plane. We don't deal with that. The most important thing for people to understand is India is only party to the SUA Convention, but not to the Protocol of 1995. It's a common question I've seen in the written. Is India party to the SUA Convention and its protocol? Most of the people in the past have said yes. You're supposed to write India is party to the SUA Convention of 1988, but not party to the protocol. And if the reason is there, you know the reason. Are you with me till here?
Yes, sir.
Finally, this I've already covered, that stop at board a passing ship if they have reasons to believe. So, what are the kind of common questions which are asked? Salient features of SUA Convention. What is the concept of offense as per the SUA Convention? the salient features or only the offense, you have to write the concept of offense, endangering the navigation of the ship if it happens because of the four reasons: causing injury or death to the person on board, causing damage to the hull or machinery, causing damage to the cargo, causing damage to navigational aid ashore, or deliberately giving out from the ship false information. All this is, if it endangers the navigation of the ship, it's an offense as per SUA Convention, and the countries are supposed to come to rescue. Number 2 point, countries that are party to the SUA Convention, they are supposed to do the following: amend the national laws to make the offense punishable, even though the offense has happened in international waters beyond their territory. 2, if the country gets involved, they're supposed to use all resources possible to capture the offenders, bring them on land, conduct an immediate inquiry. Number 3, if the offenders were harassing the country after the inquiry, punish the offenders as per the amended law. 4, if the offenders were involved in the neighboring country, then this country is supposed to hand them over to the country in the smoothest possible manner. Finally, the objective of the SUA Convention is cooperation between and among the countries for handling the situation, for preventing such a situation, for handling of the offenders, the movement of the offenders, and free flow of communication with regard to this incident. India is a party to the SUA Convention. Point number 5, the convention was adopted in 1995. It expanded the concept of offense to include that it is an offense if a ship is involved in carriage of illegal nuclear weapons or material, nuclear, biological, chemical, but it is not an offense if the ship is transporting such material from a country that is party to NPT to another country that is party to NPT. And since India is not party to NPT, it would be taken as offense. Technically, India is not party to the SUA Protocol of 1995, but only party to the convention. Finally, as per the protocol, if the country has reasons to believe that a passing ship has people who may have committed offense in the past or likely to commit an offense, they can stop and board the ship and conduct a search. If it's a 12-mark question, you can minimum expect, it's a 12-mark question or 13-mark question, you can expect minimum 10. Out of 12, you can get 11. Out of 13, you can get. Are you happy with this?
Yes, sir.
Excellent. By the way, all this notes are there. Now, when do I have to be a board? So I just have a simple question. If one AV slaps another AV on board the ship, is the SUA Convention applicable?
No, sir.
Very good. Why?
Because it doesn't endanger the navigation of the ship.
Excellent. बस आगे बोलना ही नहीं है. 10 out of 10. You guys have understood. So let's have.
But sir, if somebody murders someone, then
no. If it's a murder, then also it does not endanger the navigation of the ship. Right? There are two options. The ship will continue on the passage if the port is close by where the destination of the ship is, or the master will say, I need to deviate to have the dead body delivered. Then also the change in the passage is happening because of the powers executed by the master. He continues to be in command and executing his powers.
Yes,
So
yes,
it is not endangering the ship navigation
yes.
of the ship. Endangering the way what I would like to say, जिस capacity में, जिस position पे by law उसको power मिली है, the person is unable to execute that. The person is under duress and therefore SUA becomes applicable. It is, yeah, I just have to keep that in mind.
Understood.
Great. So let you enjoy your 15-minute break, and your next class is by Captain Naveed Tiwari. Lecture number 3, 11:30 to 12:30, and then 12:45, 13:45, Mr. Arun Gulati, Chief Engineer. And you have lunch. After lunch, I have one lecture, 14:30 to 15:30. I'll be taking another conversation. Enjoy your break, gentlemen,
Thank you, sir.
and have a good day. I'll see you at 14:30. Bye.